change. Already getting some technical difficulties in the studio, but you already know what it is. It's ATAS episode 50.
The big one.
We out here. You already know what it is.
It's a big one. It's a big baby, man.
I'm gonna toss it over to my co-host right now. Go ahead, give him a little intro.
It's your boy Tipsy Japan back with another episode of ATAS Across Time and Space, number 50. Yes, it's good to be back. Ace, thank you for inviting me to Cross Culture, Cross X, CXC, as we did that before, CXC. I like that. It's good to be back over here. See, this is thank you. We got 50 episodes. 50 episodes. 50 episodes. Yes, let's go. All right, we got the early signing crew right here. Water Post Laser. Thank you, sir. Yes, we're here. We are here at 50. Congratulations, listeners. You have made it successfully. If you've been listening close, you've successfully been along the ride for 50 episodes of ATAS Across Time and Space. Thank you so much for your listening and for your support. It's only going to get better from here. Oh, man, it's good to be here. Man, this is your side, man. Let your people know how you feel, because this is a beautiful thing. I didn't know if it was going to happen at the beginning, but it just takes one step at a time, step by step, moving forward. Take the next chapter. I've been thinking about if there was one word to describe what we do here, and this would help with the CEO, as a matter of fact. The CEO? No, SEO. This would help with the SEO. If we had one word to describe what's going on here. And I'm wondering if the word that you're thinking is the word that I'm thinking.
Probably not, because I haven't thought of this.
Yeah. So the reason I was thinking of that, because it was like, all right, I was listening to this, another audiobook on Scribe. That's what we listen to. We listen to things, we review, digest, chew it up, and spit it out in a way that makes it more accessible to y'all, to our people in the United States and across Japan and across the world, anywhere in between. All right. But yeah, so I was reading a book about how to reach your audience on YouTube and on Spotify and through these social media outlets and so on. And it said that you gotta have your whole thing kind of revolving around one word. Yeah. In fact, the file name that you upload to YouTube should include that one word. The description of your show should include that one word. The title of your show should include that one word. And what you talk about during the course of the show should actually have that one word in there somewhere, in a very concrete form, or basically explicit. So I said, what word do we have like that? Do we have something that we always say? Maybe not. Besides ATAS, across time and space. That's it is what it is. But it's like, if people are I'm looking for across time and space. I don't know if they would look for that specifically, But what we deliver, what have we been delivering for 50 episodes? I think that might make it easier for them to understand. What we'd like to deliver over on TPC Japan is not only this type of content. It's been 25 episodes of this podcast, but we also, because you got the introduction banner there at the bottom, we also do like to get out there on Instagram and TikTok and other types of social media to make kanji more accessible, make Japanese more accessible, telling the stories behind the characters, and also make exercise more accessible. Got some new videos coming up soon with our additional podcast called Speech. We're going to be looking at table arrangement as well. Last weekend we went to me and my partner. We went to this show at the Tokyo Dome. Took a lot of footage of different types of like tables, and a table is a canvas. What you do on that table is it's up to you. It's up to your creativity and the materials that you have and what you're trying to express. And when I look at that canvas and I look at um, like the canvas of a paper and the calligraphy that I do, it's the same kind of story. All right, what are you doing with the empty spaces? What are you doing with the spaces that you fill? All right, and when I look at the canvas of our minds through the show, through time and space, when we're writing onto the tablet of our minds through audiobooks, we're inputting things, right? And we're laying down tracks, and along those tracks, there are different ideas run day to day. So that's why it's a combination of time and space, because we've got ideas that are germinating and enriching our lives, and we're discussing them and making it accessible to others. So yeah, I mean, that's why I like that we're doing that in ATAS, and it's developing that way. But we're gonna look instead at space, in our space podcast, which is going to be launching this week, God willing, and the creek don't rise. We're going to be looking at those kind of different areas. The canvas of the table, the canvas of your mind, the canvas of paper, and also the canvas of the schoolyard, as it were, or the park yard. If you're looking to work out and move your body, right? Move your body through space and get the most that you can out of maybe mostly a calisthenic workout, then we got something for you. Something that's very accessible. And that's what we want to put out there. All right. It's an educational experience, but I hope it's entertaining. It's got to be entertaining. If you can't laugh and enjoy, what are we watching this for? It's in school. It ain't school. It's the school of the hard knocks, but we in it together. All right. And that's what we about. TPC Japan, the people's champ, as they say, or Tipsy Japan. If you knew me back at WWLU 88.7. Yeah. It was good, man. So, Ace, man, you want to let them know about time, or are you going to save it for another time? Yeah, I mean, we're doing some big things, especially over here on TPC Japan as regards to the calligraphy piece. What some of the listeners don't know is that I've been taking calligraphy classes. I've been learning how to do calligraphy for the last 2.5 years, pretty consistently every month, at least once a week going in, but then also practicing at home. And so there's this week's calligraphy piece, something that we have called, it's a Haruyo Koi, right? And I think I can show you guys what that looks like on the show. Maybe a little bit later on, after we get through our main topics. As you know, we've been reading Homo Deus by Yuval Noah Harari, and we're on chapter 5. We just peeked into it last week, the first 10 minutes of it. So today we should be looking at the next 30. And, that's the plan. As a kind of recap of where we were last week, we started kind of getting into it as regards to, the subjectiveness of our story, and the way that if we talk about religion, okay, like what religion does for humanity and how far that people can get in life by incorporating some kind of religious mindset and an organizational mindset, like being connected to a community of other people who believe in something, bigger than themselves, then how you can get kind of further in life, as opposed to, I don't believe in anything in particular. All right. That's kind of an issue that the author was picking up and we wanted to chew on that cut a little bit more, I think, today. But Ace has a list of questions and talking points that I'm sure he wants to get in. So I'm not gonna steal the thunder and leave the people wondering.
Just want to backtrack just a little bit. We are just now getting into chapter 5. So it should be the first 30 minutes of chapter 5. If you're listening on script, that's why the banner at the bottom of the screen, for those who can see it, says 5.1 as far as the chapter is concerned. Now, I don't know if my co-host went over the giveaway. Did you touch on that at all?
No, sir. I have not.
No, okay. So last week we talked about the giveaway at the very end of episode 49. So how the giveaway is going to operate is that those who want to enter, at the very, very, very bottom of YouTube, in the comment section below, write a comment and that'll be your entry. But if you want additional entries, get other people to comment saying that you were the person that sent them, or somewhere in their comment has to be your username, and that's how we'll do it. So let's say that I comment, hey, nice show. That's my first. I get my sister to comment. She says that I sent her. That's my second, and she gets 1. And if she gets other people, then 2, 3, 4, 5. That's how it's going to work. So definitely make sure that you drop it in the comment section, not the live comments. Those that are in the live comments will not count. And this giveaway will be operating on episode 50 and 51.
Oh, that's
for our listeners over there on TPC Japan, because we want to make sure that everybody has equal opportunity, and we won't be podcasting next week. So you have time to comment on episode number 50. You got time. And then maybe a week out from episode 51, then boom, winner. Gonna do it live on air. So you're gonna know exactly what's happening.
Okay. All right, so they get not 2 weeks. They got like almost 3 weeks time. They got this week, they got next week, and then we actually put out episode 51 on TPC Japan for that week too. Right? Like today is the 5th. Right? So you got 12th, 19th, we go out on the 19th. Are we closing the ballot box, on the 26th, or before the 26th, before episode 52 comes out? Is that when it's closed?
It's gonna have to be, because we're gonna be doing, if we do it live on air, then those ballots are gonna have to be in. We're gonna have to come up with some type of method in order to show that we're doing it live on air and there's no like funny business, anything like that. Okay. But definitely get in those comments. One comment is all you need for yourself. Get other people to put your name in the comments. You get additional comments. Then those people will also be entered to win. I mean, it's a win-win. It's a win-win.
Okay. That sounds like a plan. If I get people to comment, do I get an extra entry?
No, we can't win the giveaway. Come on, what you trying to do? What you doing?
Okay. I'm just Okay.
None of that.
I wouldn't.
No. That's some double dipping stuff. We're not about that.
Getting high on my own supply of goodies. All right, good. So, if you guys were listening last week over on TBC Japan, You've heard the message. You know what to do. ATAS Knights, stand up. Do what you got to do in the comment section, not the live comment section, but the real
That's
comment
nice.
section. All right. Yeah, we gotta come up with a name for the listeners, man. I like ATAS Knights. ATAS Warriors.
That's nice.
Cross time and space, boy. Yeah.
I don't know.
The ATAS Warriors? What is that?
We'll have to do that some other time, though. We gotta jump. We gotta jump
Let's get in it. Let's
into
get
this,
into it,
man. Jump into it.
I mean, yeah.
Enough waffle.
Like I told him.
Enough waffle.
You know.
All right. So we got the first question on the board. Boom. What is religion? This is a very loaded question right here. The book, this chapter, talks about the positive and negative aspects of religion in everyday life. So I want to hear, I don't want to hear Webster. Your boy Merriam ain't got no place here. I just want to hear a nice, colloquial, down to earth base. What is religion?
You want to hear my take on religion?
Yeah. What is religion?
Okay, so I won't give you the definition that the Crusaders might have had in mind when they were battling for 1,000 years. Shout out
dang.
I like.
Look at this.
That's Crusaders. That does sound dope.
Yeah, right.
That sounds dope. Yeah.
Oh no,
1,000 years.
we can't use Crusaders. There's too much bad blood right there. We cannot
It's a
use
crusade.
that name.
It's on a crusade.
Nah. Yeah. You know what the crusade was? You know what the crusade was? Justified murder. Look it up. Research it. It was justified murder. Kill them all and let God sort them out. That's what they said. I'm not with that. Talking about inclusion, not exclusion.
So religion. Yeah.
Religion.
It's an interesting word, man. When I was so steeped and deep and right in the middle, the smack dab in the middle of community that had a lot of religion on the sleeve. We'll call it that. Call it religion on the sleeve. Like it was clear where you stand. When we used to talk about religion there, it was all the traditional kind of things that you do as a member of that church community, but it was not necessarily about your walk with God, right? Not necessarily. And it's like these. If you look at it from a Roman Catholic perspective and a devout Roman Catholic perspective, like my dad and someone who I respect, he would say that no, the sacraments are not required. 7 sacraments being, these different rituals that people do over the course of their lives, in communion with their church community and God. Like he would say that those sacraments are not required, but they do help you in your walk. But how, to what extent they help you is not decided. It could be kind of up to you, or up to.
I cannot hear you. I cannot hear. Okay.
Nah, there, now you can.
There we go.
Okay. So, right, as I was saying that, the extent to which the sacraments help you with your faith walk in the Catholic context, Roman Catholic context, is not something that's decided. but
Hmm.
it could help you when you're thinking back on like different rites of passage in your life. What have you, you know, like what was the end of one chapter and the beginning of the next one for you? The seven sacraments
Okay.
in that context are, I don't know if I can call it all seven, but you got baptism, you got first communion.
Hmm.
First communion is like, taking the Eucharist, the body of Christ for the first time, Um, and you have the confirmation, become a member of the church. You have confession itself. Whenever you need to go to confession and get that load off your chest, and hear from another human being that's saying, yes, you're forgiven, even though God says you're forgiven. You may be the type of person that wants to hear it from another person who has a good relationship with God. I mean, that's the way it's put out there, right? So
Okay.
those are four. You have of course, the funeral. That's five. Visiting of the widows and the sick.
Okay. The
Like,
sick and shut in.
right. Visiting them, which would be six. And there's one more. And it's not. Matrimony. Getting married.
I was about to say, like, marriage isn't one of
The
them.
big one.
Funeral
Yeah,
is?
that's kind of a big one.
Okay.
That's kind of a big one. Yeah.
Man.
So yeah, I mean, all things is like, these are kind of like documented, especially the major ones like matrimony, baptism, funeral, first communion, and so on. These are documented in such a way that even if you are lost in life, all right, and some people get a loss, all right, you can go back to the church that you were born or baptized into, and it's right there. You can find out what date it happened, and this was the candle that was used to, it was lit at that time. I still got my candle. My mother has a candle. It's in the drawer. I've seen it. February 14th.
Okay.
Yeah. 1985. Yeah. 3 months after the child is born, you bring them to the temple. This is the tradition. Is it necessary? Maybe not. But when you feel like, there are times in life when you want to feel like you're part of something that you believe in, and if you happen to believe in this system, then you want like evidence that you've done something that kind of qualifies you, to be a member. And no one can like look at you and it's like, oh, well, you're not a full member for this reason or that. Well, no, I've gone through all the steps. This is that like community acceptance. You look at primates, they do the same thing, right? You look at any animal in the kingdom, and it's like, yeah, they have their like communities and their acceptance, and these are insiders and those are outsiders. Look at the ants.
Okay.
So, to say that that's completely unnecessary is kind of, I don't think it's realistic, It may be unnecessary for certain individuals. Like, they may feel like, I want to like deconstruct my whole, network and organization and make everything from scratch for myself. And I don't want to have these, old traditions tying me down, blah, blah, blah. But then other people take pride in the fact that there are traditions that have lasted for millennia. To each his own. But
I mean,
what does that have to
if we
do
look
with-
at religion as just the traditions, is it that things that are done long enough then become sacrament or then become holy, or is religion, like the book was saying, a way to kind of herd the sheep? I think that's a very hard way to look at it, which I don't exactly disagree with, only because in the earlier times when there was no power opposing the church, and people that were in the church or that worked for the church were the most educated of the time. And you had these people like serfs or indentured servants that were kind of just going with the flow because they couldn't do anything else. And I do see that religion itself can be a very bad thing. It can be a very bad thing. But therein lies another question, because two different things came up in the chapter. Not only religion, but spirituality.
That's the other
So
side.
what is spirituality?
That's the other
I mean,
side.
I invite you to keep your answers a little shorter, because we
Okay.
got a few more things that we got to get through.
Okay, so if religion was the man-made side of it, or the man-focused side of it, community-focused, traditions-focused, this is what you do inside this space on Earth in your connection with other people. But the religious part of it,
Okay.
these are the rules of the game for the organization. This is the base of that. The spirituality is the thing. The spirituality is supposed to be that connection with your higher power, right? But the religion is the vehicle by which the spiritual conversation is delivered. You don't get a spirituality 101 without the religion, So can you throw away the religion and keep the spirituality? Some people would like to think they can. I'm not down with all this, but I believe in God. So where did you get your
I say
ideas
it's
about
very
who God is?
possible to do that, though. I mean, just because they are organized religions doesn't mean that you have to be in a religion to be spiritual. I mean,
But
that's like saying that you need man in order to be saved. You know what I'm saying? But even to the extent
You're not.
that, no, I don't need somebody else in order to be saved. I need Jesus. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
How would he be delivered without the Bible printed by men?
So this is the
He
thing.
did it.
If
The
you
vehicle.
become part of the church and then you leave the church, does that automatically mean that you're going to hell? Like, because
No.
you're not part of that religion anymore, does that mean that you are now no longer saved nor sanctified? You will never see the pearly gates. I mean,
So
these are questions that people ask all the time.
That's
know,
a very valid question. Very valid. Can you take the egg from the chicken and toss the chicken and roll with the egg? Like, this is what I need. I do not need the chicken that delivered this. I need this egg and roll with it. Like, this is the golden egg. This is the piece that I need. The religion was just the shell, but what's inside, the good stuff, this is what I need to roll. And I don't really need that religious part. That's absolutely possible. That's absolutely possible. But I'll keep my answer short because I don't want to.
These are the thought-provoking questions that we want to reach to, because if we call ourselves Christians, that's saying that we want to be like Christ. But for us to be like Christ, we need to learn about him. We need to research him. Because if we don't, then anybody who says, oh yeah, Jesus did this, and you're like, oh really, he did? I guess I have to do that. No. You're not supposed to take your spirituality from any other one person. The book was saying that it's more of a culmination, what you were talking about before, like the rites of passage, the things that you go through in order to refine, not necessarily just being refined. It's the process. So now, I really wanted to get to this question. If we get to nothing else, then it'll be enough. But was Jesus religious or spiritual? Was he religious or spiritual? This is the big one right here. This is the big one. I mean,
So,
I know the answer, so I'm not even gonna speak on this until you have your put in your 2 cents.
but I mean, according to which gospel?
What do you mean according to which gospel? According to his life, what he lived. I mean, you really want to go
Mm,
the revelation of Jesus Christ, that's probably where you're
mhm,
gonna get the best answer.
mhm. So, that's an interesting question. Surely he
Hmm.
was spiritual. Surely he was spiritual. I mean, in the last scene, he he ascended right into heaven. All right.
Okay.
It doesn't get more spiritual than that. Um, he he completely internalized the essence of the word, right? And that's kind of the point. That should be the point of the religious thing. Like, this is the vehicle that it's delivered on. You know, get the most important part, internalize and make it your own, and get a relationship with God. He had such a good
Hmm.
relationship with God. It wasn't the result of his cultivating of his relationship with God wasn't the fact that he became his son. He was in fact his son from the beginning, right?
Yeah, he's the
Um,
only one like him. I
and
mean,
and himself
yeah.
at the same time. You know, he himself being God and being son, right? So he, I mean, you cannot be a human being with a connection. I mean, can you be a human being without spirituality? You know, I mean, that's probably another question
Can
right
you be a
there.
human being without spirituality?
Yeah, like you can be a person that doesn't recognize your spirituality. I think that's possible. But to say, um, I mean, a human being, there's something divine about humanity and its, being made in the image of God and its ability to create life. This is a sacred thing. This is something that the rocks don't do. You know,
Hmm.
so yes, we breathe our spirit into things because of the way that we were created. Um, so yeah, I'd say that his spirituality is undoubtable. That's without dispute. But the religious part of it, was he a religious person? Meaning, did he know Jewish traditions? Was he anti a lot of? And he was anti hypocrisy. Because he came at the
Okay.
Sadducees and the Pharisees like vipers, right? I mean, he came at these dudes real hard, and they were, they were in charge. They were the supposed teachers. You know,
Okay.
um, was he anti-establishment?
Was he?
I'm
I mean,
asking you.
you're
No,
answering a question
absolutely.
with a lot of questions. I mean, I asked you a question. I have yet to really hear an answer.
You've heard no answer all this time. All right. I said he
No, because
definitely.
you're just like,
It's
was he this
undoubtable
or
and
was he that?
undoubtable. He, in fact, could not be spiritual. So he is the
Okay,
epitome of
he
what
was
a
spiritual. Is
spiritual
what you're
person
saying.
should be. Yeah,
He is spiritual.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Because he has
Okay.
internalized everything and, in fact, embodied everything. Right? Like the
Okay.
whole Old Testament was written about me, and here I am. Believe, right? Like, come on, you cannot doubt his
Matthew five
spirituality.
nineteen. Yeah, but okay.
But but how about the organization or the organization of religion? Did he follow the rules and the rituals? No, there were some that he clearly did not. According to the hypocrite assessment of his walk, right? Oh, it's the Sabbath. How can you heal this guy on the Sabbath? Didn't you see that David walked into the temple and ate the food on the Sabbath right off the altar? You hypocrites. I don't want to hear none of that. Like, he was so in
Hmm.
it that you couldn't tell him nothing. And the thing is about being religious is that you kind of have a respect for the rules and the establishment and the way things were done. Um, just like the bureaucracy of it all. that's the connotation that I get from the word religious. And I don't think that he was about the bureaucracy, because his father was the only one with authority at the bureau. How do you take it?
Okay, so are you saying now that there should be no such thing as religion? I mean, if God has all the power, then did
Christianity
Jesus create Christianity?
Yes, he said,
No.
Peter, you're the founder. Or you are the rock on which I'm building my church. All right, and he gave the Beatitudes. Bop, 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 bop.
Like,
Right?
he wasn't seeking to make another religion.
Come follow
And
me.
that's
Come
follow me. That's something that all teachers said to their disciples. Like, you went up to a certain level in school, and then you had a rabbi pick you out, and that's what he would say. Lech, acharai, come, follow me. Yeah, so that you can learn from me.
Yes.
And they didn't found other religions. That was just
They
what was
didn't.
said. You were
didn't.
picked as a person to follow, or to do the following, I say. So the leader is who picks the follower, right?
Yeah.
Christ did not say, I'm going to start a new religion. He tried to reform
I am the
what was
way,
already
the truth,
there.
and the life. I am the
Yeah.
way, the truth, and the life. Come follow me.
Yeah,
He didn't have to say
that's not saying that he's
the
trying to
beginning
start a
of an
new
organization.
religion. It's like, hey, you guys need to refocus, because religion is what happens when spiritual principles are separated from spiritual meaning. So let's say it like this: thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, right? Very simple. We can agree on that. Because of where the Jewish people were, and because of their journey through Egypt and all of that, what did they say to Moses? They said, just tell us what to do and we'll do it.
Yeah.
They wanted to be religious.
They
Moses
want the letter.
and God were like this. They were like, okay, we want our people to be spiritual. But no, they're like, we're just gonna do what we need to do.
What do
We're
I have
gonna
to do?
Go and follow by the numbers. What do I have to do in order to be saved? You see this come up multiple times within the Bible, all through the text. It's like, what do I have to do? Like, okay, well, who sinned, him or his mother? Why is he blind? You know,
Yeah.
these are the things that people were like, oh, well, just take him to the teacher, he'll heal him. It's like, no, there's a spiritual lesson that needs to be learned. And a lot of people wanted to just say, okay, all I have to do is this, and this, X, Y, and Z in order to be saved. All right, then all I'm going to do is X, Y, and Z.
Without having a real
But
relationship.
Christ was trying to refocus. And because the Jewish people, I'm not trying to throw any rocks at any religion, anything like that. The Jewish people did not accept him as Messiah.
Oh, they're going to say
But there was people who did accept him as Messiah. Remember that we're not called Christians. It is not Christianity. It is the Judeo-Christian movement, because that's what we came out of. It started as the Jewish tradition before it was given to us. Just throwing it out there. All right. So, yes, Jesus was religious, and yes, he was spiritual. It is possible to be the both. They are not mutually exclusive. But sometimes when people become religious, they do away with the spiritual. Okay, well, I got to show up and I got to do my sermon. So, I need to practice and be researching my sermon.
Right. My.
Some people, I'm not going to throw any shade, but some pastors and priests are researching only for their sermons, and their own spiritual life is lacking. And it's easy to get caught up. It's like, I have this responsibility to the church. I have this responsibility to the church. You have a responsibility to yourself also. Salvation is personal. It's between you and God. That's it. Anybody else, they can't grasp onto your salvation and say, oh, well, my father's saved, so I am too. Let me go with him. No. Do it for yourself.
You feeling that fire. That's that fire. If you're not planted by those rivers of living water, and you just kind of think going through the motions in order to keep the organization going, it's real easy to get caught up. That's real.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So it's scary. It's scary.
We are already 4 minutes in. Oh gosh. We are 40 minutes in. I was trying to keep it hopefully to 30 and it didn't happen. All right, we're going to hit 2 more topics because
I didn't know
we're going to try to hit them real fast.
2 more in the chamber.
All right, 2 more in the chamber, definitely. So the very last portion of this 30-minute segment actually talks about the relationship between religion and science. So I'm just going to ask this question in order to sum this part up, because the next question kind of builds on that. What is the relationship between religion and science? Are the two mutually exclusive, or can they, intertwine? Do they have no place in each other's business? Where are you at?
Where am I at, or where's the author?
Yeah, where are you at? I mean, you can say that based on the author, I agree with them, or based on the author, I don't agree with them. This is where I'm at.
Well, he would have you believe that people have a general understanding that religion and science don't get along, but in fact, they can. If religion isn't about necessarily having that relationship, that connection, just the organizational part of it, the community part of it, the ethics and life part of it, the getting somewhere in life part of it, the using religion to sustain your social status kind of thing. Like all that part of it is absolutely fine. It's not like science is going to disrupt that part of the conversation. We get our ethics from religion, and those are the social sciences and all that good stuff. It's not that they're antagonistic of each other, according to the author. What's the relationship between religion?
What's the next one?
Change the banners, no.
Facts versus ethics.
Like, what's the relationship between religion and the sciences? In my regard, they don't answer the same question, and they don't need to. But we need both sets of questions answered. So the relationship is that they're both my suppliers, and you don't rely on more than one supplier, or you don't put all your eggs in one basket. Science doesn't have all the answers, neither does religion, and I'm not looking to religion to give me all the answers. I'm just looking to it to lay an egg that I can work with, and then build a relationship, the spiritual relationship, and use religion when it's necessary. But that's not the main reference. They're useful. That's their relationship. They're both useful to me. How about you?
Well, the author did bring up both sides of the coin. He did talk about the fact that most people do separate the two, religion and science, because science is rooted in facts and religion is rooted in ethics. But he did also bring up the fact that the two don't have to be mutually exclusive. He talked about there was a dam that was built in China that if it were built a certain way, then it would wipe out villages. So it's like the science of it all, the economists will say, okay, it'll cost this much. The politicians would say, okay, this would be my soapbox in order to stand on to get more votes and all that good stuff. But if you look at the religion of it, that's where the ethics come in. Well, how many people are going to be displaced? How many people are going to need more food? What economic balance is going to be shifted because of these people not being in, maybe this is a farming village, all the crops that would have come out of there, that's going to impact not only their livelihood, but the livelihood of the whole economic table. And that's where I kind of sit with it. It's not to say that the two have to be mutually exclusive, but you have to be able to mix the two. Because if not, then if you're only on the religious side, then it's all idealism. This is the perfect way. This is the perfect way. This is the perfect way. The world is not perfect. And if you're only rooted in facts, then you're going to be a robot. You say, okay, well, we need to build this dam. I don't care how many people are displaced. I don't care what's the economic downturn. I don't care about the wildlife. We need to have balance.
Which is now here's the thing though. He did refer to humanism as a religion. And also going forward, we're going to see humanism. We're going to see a little bit of dataism. It might have been in the first book, not in this book. But these are modern religions that are forming around us. But the whole humanist movement is, what's in the best interest of humankind. And this is, looking at emotional interest, economic interest, socioeconomic interest, psychological, behavioral, all of these things, but keeping that in the highest regard, human life in the highest regard. It's like, you would be surprised if you actually look at humanism as a religion. Have we been indoctrinated with something that, another, like a new age religion that is so endemic in the way that we operate and the way that our laws have been structured or restructured right now, taking God out of it, but then putting humankind in this, a kind of higher regard than it was in the past. I would say that's, it feels like the direction that we're being pulled. If we're not careful, then the creation becomes the creator. Or, the creation becomes the creator, or the AI, looking forward, the super AI that we created becomes the creator. That's the God that we made, the new golden calf. And I say we, I do not mean me, guys, right? But in a way, maybe not intentionally, but by delivering my data to the guys that are.
Remember, it took more than one person to contribute to the golden calf. It wasn't just one person's gold that it was, and it's small pieces, big pieces. And you think that, I'm just going to give this one earring, think nothing of it, but you contribute too. And that's what the big thing is when you have religion, when you have a religion that is spiritual, then you have the best of both worlds. But there are so many times when we take the spiritualism out of it. I don't want anything to do with God, so therefore I'm just going to believe in humans and, put all my faith in humanity. Humanism.
But humanity is flawed. Humanity is flawed. So then they say, okay, put their faith in the data, in the internet, in the search engine with the super algorithm that will answer our questions. That's why we ask Google all these little dirty questions, because we know it's going to give us the answer that we're looking for, because it's got cookies that know the way we think better than we do. It knows you better than we do. Trust it. Oh man, this book's about to get crazy. I'll say that right now. Thanks for being along with the, for the ride, folks. I'm not going to give away all the Easter eggs.
Just want to say, don't forget about the giveaway. In the comment section, make sure you write something. Tell us how we're doing. Tell us if we're doing bad. Tell us if we're doing good. Leave a like or even a dislike. It all helps with the YouTube algorithm. We're just trying to get the word out there, have people come and dialogue with us. Maybe you don't agree with what we're saying. Maybe you do. But we don't know unless you show it. So this has been Ace of Cross Culture. Until next time, stay prayed up. Be blessed.
All right. And of course, it's TPC Japan telling you how to go ahead and get yourself a pen and a pad. Write it down. That's what it is. Peace out, y'all.
Peace.